Good Sunday morning, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the day after Derby. This is today's Hokey video blog. I'm Meteorologist Ryan Hoke. Wonderful weather yesterday, just in time for the 141st running of the Kentucky Derby. Today, even better weather on tap, so yeah, make sure you're ready to go for today and get outside because you won't want to miss this weather. Outside, we're not dealing with any sort of severe weather as we go throughout the next week, but on today's Hokey Weather Fact, we are talking about tornadoes. 1 to 2% of tornadoes in the northern hemisphere spin in a clockwise direction. Those are called anticyclonic tornadoes, very rare. Sometimes they happen when a supercell thunderstorm splits apart. You get one supercell thunderstorm that spins in the correct cyclonic direction, and then you get another one that moves north in an anticyclonic direction. It can sometimes generate a weak tornado or maybe even a moderate tornado from one of those. And of course, you know, the southern hemisphere does get counterclockwise tornadoes. They just don't get as many tornadoes. It's very rare for a tornado to hit down to the southern hemisphere because there's just not as much land area. So, in general, 1 to 2% of tornadoes spin in that clockwise direction. And while we're on the subject of tornadoes, let's talk about the fact that I'm going to be leaving for my storm chase, the one I've been doing for the past 8 years now, in about 3 weeks. So from May 23rd to the 29th, you can get the blog posts that I'll be posting to the Wave 3 Weather blog each day. I'll be doing constant updates on Twitter, Facebook, at least a daily post on Instagram. We're going to try to do some interesting things this year with video and photography to push that out to you guys so you can get kind of a unique perspective on how storm chasers are able to chase storms. Now, I've been doing this for nearly a decade now, and hopefully we'll get to send back something nice this year. I'll also be sending back some live video on Wave 3 News if the cell coverage permits. Sometimes it can get a little spotty out there, but hopefully we can run into some good storms out there. But looking at the latest real long-range data, and I think we'll have something going on. There's nothing huge showing up, but 3 weeks out, it's kind of hard to tell. As long as we can get kind of a southwesterly flow and it's about 18,000 feet above our heads over the Great Plains, you'll generally get something as long as the moisture at the low levels and the mid levels isn't scoured out completely. So we'll see how that goes. Usually northeastern Colorado is a pretty good place to go. If there even isn't a big severe weather risk, we can still see some decent stuff out there because of the elevation. Some neat stuff, all right? Kentucky One Health SkyTrack network of cameras this morning from Jeffersonville pointing out that we do have this cloud cover with a few peaks of sunshine filtering through the area. I think the sunshine will become more plentiful as we head throughout the day. Still waking up into the 40s in some spots, including Campbellsville at 45. Now, this is just ground clutter on the radar. Some of that green you're seeing near the radar site just south of Louisville. But off to the west, that's where we are seeing just a few of these showers that are really dying off because we don't have a whole lot of moisture to keep these in survival mode. They're going to be dying off as we go throughout the morning because dew points are in the 40s. There's just not enough of a kick to get anything really going with that low of a moisture content, so don't worry about rain today. It's going to be a rain-free day. You'll see how these really have died off over the past couple hours here on the looped radar view and the satellite combined. Pretty much over Vincennes, Indiana. They tried to get going and then no cigar. Alright, so that's what we're going to be seeing today is just a few of these clouds, but the mostly sunny skies. Alright, here's what's going on this week. It's high pressure over the Carolinas. When you get one of these high pressure areas parked over the eastern seaboard, for us it gives us a summer-like flow because we do have the southerly flow from the Gulf of Mexico that's on the western side of it. When you get that, it becomes very summer-like. This is a very summer-like pattern when you've got this ridge of high pressure over us. It's worth noting that on the edge of this ridge of high pressure, I should redraw that better, shouldn't I? Alright, on the edge of this high pressure, I'd say I-70 and northward, so north of Indy, there will be rounds of storms moving through. That's kind of the ring of fire storm scenario that we talk about generally July, August, but we're talking about it now because the pattern favors it. So I don't think we'll see the thunderstorms here until at least Thursday at the very earliest. And even at that point, I'm not convinced that this ridge is going to break down enough to allow for a thunderstorm chance. A lot of the computer models have trouble breaking down ridges. They do it too quickly. So it may take an additional couple more days to get that ridge to break down so that we can get the storm corridor over us. And even when that does happen, it's not going to be a constant barrage of thunderstorms. It's just going to be an afternoon isolated to scattered thunderstorm chance. So with all this good weather in tow, you've probably got a honey-do list, a mile long because of Derby. You probably yesterday were at a Derby party, maybe you went to Churchill Downs, maybe you were goofing off somewhere else and you didn't want to do any work. Today's a day to do it though, because we've got sunny skies out there, temperatures in the lower 80s. Just remember to put on the sunscreen. Another thing I was thinking about this morning is a lot of times we tell you to wait to do your gardening, to put into your plants and your seeds until after Derby, because that's generally when we see our last frost. Well, today is good a day of any, of course, to get out there and do that because we don't have frost in the forecast. I think we're done with that with the warm temperatures coming into play. And today, getting up into the lower 80s. So looking like a pretty good forecast for any sort of outdoor activity that you may have planned. You'll see the upper 80s, though, as we go throughout the latter portion of this week. We've only got that 10% rain chance in there, and I've thrown that in there just in case we get one or two that want to bubble up, one or two storm cells, but I don't think that's really going to be a problem. We do have a shot at getting at 90 degrees as we go throughout your Friday. I'm not willing to go there just yet. The data's still too cool for that, I think. But I think the pattern does favor it, so we'll have to see if we need to up those temperatures a degree or two. And then I do think an isolated storm chance of a slightly better tier comes in as we go throughout your Saturday of next weekend. We'll have to deal with that when it comes by. We may have to dry out the entire week, though, the way it's looking right now on some of the data. I just wanted to account for some of the breakdown of the ridging that we were beginning to see in some of these rain chances Thursday through Saturday that are just marginal and really nothing to think about at this point. All right? So that's our weather pattern. We're going to break down this ridge at some point, but until we do, the weather's calm, the weather's nice. It's going to be a very dry stretch of weather. It looks like May is going to be a very different month rain-wise than April. Thank goodness. Third wettest April on record here in Louisville. I don't think May is going to come anywhere close to that. Enjoy your Sunday out there. I'm Meteorologist Ryan Hoke. Andy Weingarten is in for me tonight. Until I see you on Thursday, have a good afternoon.